Nearly 1 billion children worldwide face the impacts of climate change, with 242 million students disrupted by extreme weather in 2024 alone. Founder of Sustainable Stories, Naomi Queeckers, decided that something needs to be done to build a better future for children by empowering young minds to embrace responsibility, sustainability, and shape their own futures. The result? A story-filled book that connects heart, hands, and head to help children build their futures. Naomi is on Kaleidoscope Dialogues today. You've said nearly 1 billion children are growing up under the shadow of climate change. Now, how do Sustainable Stories turn that daunting reality into hope and action for young minds?
So I have a background as a sustainability manager at the Belgium public broadcaster, national television and radio, also big retailer. And the mission of Sustainable Stories is indeed to encourage an entrepreneurial mindset in kids, not as a career path, but really as a way to shape society. Now, it is already a very successful story in Belgium. Why am I bringing it to Sri Lanka currently? Because, of course, indeed, I have I'm 25% Sri Lankan myself. So my grandfather is Sri Lankan, my mother is born here in Colombo. And besides my personal connection, I think Sri Lanka is just a very good gateway to reform the education.
So how does your three-layered approach of heart, head and hands help children actually internalize responsibility and sustainability?
So we work together with researchers, psychologists, and so it is a very known fact that a mindset starts early, so at the age of 4 or 5 already. And so it's very important to engage with their hearts, with their heads, their spirits, their actions, and meanwhile installing sustainability values and social ethics early into education. Because by the time they are teenagers, it's often too late, and then the core values are already being formed. So it's really necessary to do it very early so that they can take it along into adulthood, into their profession, into their life.
So how do your stories, these stories for instance, inspire real-world action beyond the classroom?
Because of the challenges that are in the books, so these challenges are real-time, are taking them out of the classroom, are also adapted to the local challenges. So in each country we are trying to, the global vision is of course stays the same. So it will always be an entrepreneurial mindset, social ethics, skills that are necessary to tackle certain challenges. Of course, challenges are in every situation, every country different. So we try to adjust to local language, local culture, local challenges, and so that really makes the projects something tangible for kids, and so we can show them that they are a part of the solution.
You've given these books to classrooms in Belgium.
Exactly.
What has the impact been like?
In Belgium, the impact is really massive. So in Belgium, you have about 5,000 primary schools. So every primary school has access to the work that we do. Teachers in all countries are overburdened already, so we make solutions you can really use, so teaching packages, books, classroom interventions, ready activities, and so we give them to all the schools. And for example, the teaching packages that we make that are going with the books have been unlocked for downloads more than 7,000 times already. So that's just one example of the impact. So could mean 40,000 downloads. It's massive. And so a lot of organizations in Belgium are also tapping into it. So we've been endorsed by United Nations in New York, the headquarters, UNICEF, a lot of university colleges. So yeah, massive impacts.
How do you balance corporate partnerships with child-focused education?
So here to do it in Sri Lanka, we are looking at a variety of partners. So it could be national, private companies, international organizations, governments. I think it's important that it's not only one sector, that a lot of sectors contribute, because it's the responsibility of everybody. How we do it in Belgium, however, is we bring the kids in companies. So a lot of companies really invest and want to invest because they see the needs in the education of the children of employees.
And you've matched your books to the Sustainable Development Goals,
Exactly.
each of them. what are the sustainable development goals that most resonate with children?
I don't think we should choose one SDG. I think, of course, all SDGs are as important. Of course, you have to see locally what the challenges are more about. So I think it's very important to just be aligned with the local educational system, the local challenges in the country, and then to see what SDGs can be tackled first, not meaning that the other ones are not important, of course.
Do you localize your stories for Sri Lanka, for instance?
We are right in the middle of translation into Sinhalese and Tamil.
What is the most exciting or the most impactful feedback you got from a child after seeing the books?
One of the latest replies I got was a kid is actually an ambassador of Sustainable Stories in Belgium. So we work with children's ambassadors. And he came to me and he said, "Wow, Naomi, you know, actually I really don't like to read at first because he has dyslexia." And I said, "Because of the books that you make, it's so enjoyable again. And I now correct my parents for picking up like waste on the streets and everything." So I think that is a huge impact just by reading one book. So imagine what we are doing with more books and activities and workshops.
While you were writing all these books, what was the most interesting book that you felt was being published?
I think the last one is the most pressing one because it was on climate action. Especially for islands, climate action is a very accurate challenge. And so what I loved about writing the story is really, for me, really getting into the character, but also working together with psychologists to see on what level we have to make the story with the teachers, with the children, testing, and then seeing it become a qualitative good story once again to introduce to kids.
How do you centralize the SDGs but put it across to the children so that it makes it really interesting? Is there a central character? Is there a plot? How do you work?
In general, some SDGs could be perceived as, by children, as quite boring. So if you make a story, for example, on circular economy, and you just tell them, "Oh, this is circular economy," I don't think a kid will remember it. So that's why we encourage the hearts, the soul, the minds, and the hands. And so the key is to really make a story that is in their world so that they can resonate with the story, and so that they feel like it's a problem that is addressing them and they can be a part of the solution. So it's really a thin balance of finding a story that works and for teachers and for parents and for the kids, of course.
How do you help children manage climate anxiety with optimism?
I think it's super important to stay optimistic. I don't see the value of towards little children to give them all the negative effects of certain problems. So I think you should really give them the solutions to certain problems. For example, in the books we try to give always a story that is based on a problem in their own life mindsets, bullying, being alone, being in love sometimes, lovely stories, but then we gradually go to a solution for the SDG. And so by the end of the story, they have a story that they resonate with, but also a solution to a world problem.
Naomi, now that you're in the process of adapting your stories for Sri Lanka and in two different languages as well, what challenges have you come across and what challenges do you foresee in adapting these books into various other languages?
So I think a challenge is to get to know the local system better, and also keep on working on the translations and see what challenges are most pressing and addressing that.
So your ultimate goal would be to integrate this mindset into the school curricula globally?
Exactly. I see it as an investment.
And what would success look like to you in 5 years' time?
I would be very happy if every kid has access to the mindset education, and if people actually see it for what it is. So it is not just a book. The book is just a product. It is really an investment in the education of children and in installing values, social ethics in our new generation.
You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Ceylinco Life.